Hi guys, it's Jean here. Welcome to my channel. So last Friday, Kyung and I celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary and I wanted to commemorate it and do something special. We ended up just having a really low-key dinner though because we've been really busy and flat out lately. And I wanted to, I guess, put up something special to celebrate with, just like, not for just for us, but to share with you guys as well. Like maybe put up like my wedding video, just a small snippet of it. But I never actually got around doing it. So it's been 5 years, and to be honest, like we had a lot of drama with our videographers. Like it was all good and all but there was a bit of a misunderstanding. So I had planned to do the whole video again from scratch myself. So I had all the raw copies to kind of snip it, and then drama happened with family and stuff like that, that I kind of stopped doing it. And then I had my computer formatted, so then I had to kind of redo it again. So that's kind of why I kind of stalled on it for a while. Like I may eventually, when I have time, go back and review it, because weddings, marriage is like a big, I guess, milestone, a big celebration part of your life that, it's, as much as it was a bittersweet moment because it was so hectic planning and things like that, and I was so glad it was over, but at the same time, like, it's a celebration of our love that I still kind of want to, just tidy up and just complete everything together, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so instead I thought I will share with you guys my 5 tips on how to, I guess, stay happy in a relationship, because I know nowadays it's really hard to really, I guess, the expectations and things like that. And I know, we're still fairly young. We've been married for 5 years, and people, have been married for 60 and things like that. But Kyung and I actually dated for a good 9 years before we got married. And like, there has been obviously times where we fight a lot, we yell at each other, but majority of the time, like, we're still pretty much a really tight unit, like, just us two. So yeah, I thought, I'll just share with you my tips on what I think and what made our marriage work. So I guess these tips aren't just, between, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wives, like 2 lovers. This is, I guess, a foundation of all my relationships and how I kind of build up on that. Obviously, for an intimate relationship, you need that intimacy on top of that. But for any relationship, these are kind of like my 5 platforms that I start off with. So the first one is individuality. So everyone is an individual as they are. So, you may like certain things, you do certain things, you want to be something. Like, it's important for all relationships is to have someone there that can encourage you to be the best that you can. Like, a lot of times I see friendships grow where you start to, I guess, imitate one of each other and become the same people. Like, you go out, like, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I have, that, when you see especially school kids, like teenagers and stuff, go out, it's like they all kind of wear similar clothing, similar style. Like, yes, you have friendship groups based on, common interests, but it gets to the point where everything is just all the same. Like, you guys have the same bag, same clothes, same style and everything, and there's no individuality into it. And with all relationships, I guess sometimes the more you get into it, like the more longer the relationship, you start to mold into one person. And that's what I love about Kyung and I's relationship, is that we are both still individually us. Like, he's still him, I am still me, and we still do whatever it is that we like to do. So we're not afraid to say, I'm going to hang out with my friends now, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go there. And we're not exactly tied at the hips where we do things all the time. Like, I am still independent, I drive myself wherever I want to go, he does his own thing. And there's no kind of like, I guess, like, worry that, oh, what if she or he does something behind my back and things like that. It's like, I may not like certain things that he likes, but I still encourage him, or I still, understand that that's what he's into. So I may not attend those events or do those things, but at least, same as me, it's like I will hang out with my girlfriends, he might not like to, have that girlfriend time, so I will go with my girlfriends and he'll do his own thing. So I think it's important that, when you meet someone, you automatically get attracted to them because of who they are. Someone that's interesting to you, someone that has their own kind of morals and like their own beliefs. But then a lot of times as you grow together, you kind of merge into like one person. So I think it's important to remember why you're friends with them, why you're going out with them, why you're married to them. It's because of who they are and how you found them attractive to you. By the way, so I'm counting down to my number one in priority. So the fourth one, I guess, is someone that is understanding. So someone that, like, not a lot of times, especially with my experience, it's very hard to find someone that understands me for me, because I don't really understand myself a lot of times. A lot of crazy things go through my head and I'm trying to decipher all those little things, but it's hard trying to translate that to someone else. So being understanding doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you need to know them like that. It's just little things like, you know, what their favorite color, what their favorite food is, doing things that you know that they like, they don't like. For me, Kang and I, the minute I realized how much I loved him as a person was when we were dating, I think about a year or two in, and we were just on the phone. So I guess a bit of history. So when Kang and I started dating, we were just turned 18. We were out of high school. I didn't know him before. We met through a mutual online, and then we started going out literally it was literally the first day I met him, and then a few days later we went on our first official date, and then literally by the end of that there wasn't an actual, you know, would you be my girlfriend boyfriend thing. It just kind of happened, and then we've been dating ever since. Like, we did break up after the first year because we felt like it was both our first real relationship, that it was pretty much like a honeymoon period, and then we kind of broke up over a certain issue that was really big to me, and then after that we just spent 3 months fighting, and then we got back together, and that was it. We've been together ever since. So that's kind of like our relationship. But because we both had separate lives, we had no, I guess, mutual friends or anything, I didn't feel like I missed anything through my my early adulthood. Like, I still went clubbing, I still did a lot of things, and I didn't feel like he stopped me in doing that as well. So we still had our own lives, and then yeah, things just grew from that. So I guess understanding for me is when one time I was at home on the phone with him, and I just started crying. I'm not sure what the conversation was about, but straight away he knew I was crying, he knew I was upset, and that really got to me, that someone actually paid attention and knew me. Like, he just knew when I was upset about things, you know. Understanding may not necessarily mean that he actually gets why I was upset, but the fact that he acknowledges it, which is really, really, I guess, good for me. And, like, it shows how much they care for you. Like, he may not know what I'm going through, but at least he will try to not, I guess, provoke it even more. Like, if little things, like if I was upset about something but I needed to do something and he had time, obviously, you know, he won't push me to hurry up and do it. Like, he will do it, especially like nowadays. Like, I'm just been really tired and exhausted, and he doesn't, I guess, keep telling me, you know, oh, you need to get up, you need to do this. Like, he'll just let me sleep for a bit, you know, do what he can. And just little things like that, it's very supportive. Like, I may be down, he may not need to speak to me, but we're in the same room just watching TV together, doing our own thing, little things like that. So I think being understanding is not just literally understanding that person. It's also about, I guess, being there for them. That if you can't understand, you know, use your own mind to figure out what other ways you can kind of help in that sense, or at least try to listen and try without judgment to when they speak to you or tell you something. I think that is important as well. So I guess that also leads down to my third point, which is supporting. I think it's really important in any relationship to be supportive. So, you know, you may not understand what's going through their life, but just matter of being there for them, and also, you know, just standing up for them like once in a while. What I find nowadays is that everyone is so invested in their own lives that no one wants to kind of speak up on behalf of someone because they don't want to rock the boat. You know, they don't want any dramas and things like that. But at the end of the time, I think it's good to stand up for what you believe in and stand up for who your friends or your partner is. You know, at the end of the day, if you guys are in it together and you don't have that supportive system where, you know, if someone was hurting your partner or something, that you can stand up and vocally speak up for them. I think, you know, you don't want to be in a relationship where you feel like you're alone, that it's like one versus the other kind of thing. You need to really, you know, come together and support each other for everything. So the second important thing for me is honesty. And honesty is not just, you know, your partner being honest to you, but you also need to accept everything that they're honest about. So Kyung and I, like, we hang out with our own friends, do our own things, like especially in the early days where I used to club a lot. Like, you know, a lot of young couples kind of get a bit jealous and stuff, you know, if they have girlfriends or boyfriends, go hang out with other girls and boys, and, you know, whether they'll cheat on them. But for Kyung and I, like, we have that honesty where I let him know everything that's happening. I don't really hide anything. There are little things that obviously, like Kmart runs and things like that, I don't tell him everything I buy, but he finds out eventually anyway. Little things like white lies, kind of things like that, is not a big problem. But in me, I always feel like if I don't tell him, then it kind of eats me up, or one day I will. And I just figured, like, lies are easier to, it's harder to hide a lie than tell the truth, in my opinion. Like, that's my rule for everything. Like, honest, like, someone being honest may not, you know, may not be a positive thing. Like, you may not like hearing what people say, but at least I would rather have someone be honest with me than someone lying to my face. And I think that's important, that, you know, we talk about things. If he's not happy with something, if he doesn't like something I do, don't feel like they're attacking you. Like, take it as, you know, take it as constructive feedback, I guess, and kind of work on that. Like, just because, you know, they tell you that they don't like something, like, at least they're being honest about it. And the same thing, like, I sometimes, like, you know, sometimes he does things that I might not really like, but it gets to a stage where it kind of hurts my feelings inside, that I feel like I'm trapped. So I gotta let him know that, you know, this is how I feel, like, you know, about situations and things like that. And again, like, everything is kind of all revolves around each other. You need to have a lot of understanding. You know, you got to be honest, and then have a lot of understanding to know where they're coming from, and then just support each other. And, you know, it's not about changing yourself to fit their needs. It's more about understanding where both people are coming from and kind of like working together. So the number one top important thing with any of my relationships is trust. And without trust, then, you know, everything else will probably just crumble. Excuse the barking, there is a dog barking outside right now, but yeah. So I guess, like, that's the reason why Kyung and I broke up very early on in our relationship, because there was a bit of a trust issue. Like I said, it was very early on, and it's not that, you know, we didn't trust him around, like, you know, boys and girls and things like that. It was more just generally because we didn't really know each other yet. We didn't really, I think we jumped into the relationship so early that we kind of built it as we went, that, you know, it wasn't at that stage where we actually trusted each other yet. And I think that's what kind of broke it to begin with. But yeah, I think trust is a very important issue, because if you don't trust someone, then you can't be honest with them, you can't support them, and you can't, you know, understand them at all. And you can be the kindest person, but without that, then, you know, there's always something in the back of your head going on, you know, whether they're cheating on you, whether, you know, they intentionally are in the relationship because they want to be with you and things like that. And for me, I know if I had those things running through my head, it would drive me crazy. And I haven't exactly had the biggest experience with a lot of relationships, so I don't understand how people make, like, break up and stuff, how people get jealous and things like that, because I think it really reflects, I guess, both people in the way you view a relationship, which is why I kind of want to do this video, to show you that, you know, to go through what my tips are on how to, I guess, have any kind of relationship. And that being said as well, like, I noticed there's, like, nothing personal attack or anything, but maybe some people have the wrong intentions in a relationship. Like, I know some friends, you know, it's like they have a checklist, like, especially in like, you know, love relationships, they have this checklist of things that, you know, the partner needs to make, like, you know, like, they need to be taller than them, they need to have a good job, they need to be a certain figure, they need, you know, this and that. And at the end of the day, if you start off with any relationship with a checklist, then you'll find yourself failing a lot of times. A lot of times as well, if you go into a relationship with wrong intentions, like I know, like especially the older you get, a lot of girls feel like, you know, you need a partner because you need to get married, because you need kids, you know, you want this lifestyle, you need to find a sugar daddy to give you that. All those kind of like factors, you know, they all, you know, majority of the time don't end well because you're entering a relationship with wrong intentions. Like Kang and I, we didn't go, like we kind of went with the flow, but we didn't have any intentions. Like when I initially met him, it wasn't, I never really saw, I didn't actually see it as like, you know, oh, could this be a potential lover? I just saw it as, I've got time to kill, like let's just make new friends, kind of things like that. And then it just kind of grew like unexpectedly, and like it took me a while to figure out, is this relationship real? Like am I being played or something like that? Like it's just weird. But you know, what are we, like 14 years later and we're still together. We're, you know, experiencing life together, supporting each other, still being us, you know, doing our own things, having our own lives. More than anything, you know, as much as we are lovers, we are pretty much friends. And a lot of people say, you know, when you're married to someone, you want to be with someone that, you know, you want to spend the rest of your life with. Some people say you want to be with someone that you know, that you can't live without. And I think, to be honest, like for me, I feel like I can live without him. I can live without him. But at the same time, I choose to be with him because he is my friend over everything, and we support each other in life. So yeah, those are my tips and advices on relationships, whether it's a love relationship or a friend relationship. I think it's important to have those foundations to build on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully next year or so I do get around in finishing my wedding video, because it's been so long now. Let me know if you want to share, if you want me to share anything about my wedding. Like it's been a while, but I'll see what I can dig up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe to watch more. Thanks for watching. Bye.